Hey everyone, Ben Johnson here with Teacher Moolah to demo the Roth versus traditional calculator that I created. If you downloaded an older version, make sure that you make a copy of this version 3, and please make me aware of any bugs. Before I start, I want to orient you with what this tool is attempting to do. If you're not familiar with marginal tax brackets, you should become acquainted with them. And what they tell us is what percentage of tax you'll pay on your taxable income. And so, for example, a married couple filing jointly on the first $20,000 of their taxable income, they're going to be taxed 10% on that. From $20,000 to $83,000, they're going to be taxed at that 12% bracket. And then, as you can see, once that married couple filing jointly hits that $83,000 range of their taxable income, there's a big jump up to 22%. And so what this calculator is attempting to do is that I'm assuming a married teacher couple or a sort of middle income couple, and you can use this with single or head of household as well, is going to try to stay in this 10 and 12% bracket. I doubt that we'll ever see income tax rates this low again, and so it's okay to be paying taxes on those buckets of money. And so if there's any money left over after your yearly spend, it probably makes sense to go ahead and use your Roth retirement investments, because you're paying that 10 or 12% now. That's okay, it's a low rate, and all of the earnings will grow tax-free forever. So that's awesome. Now, on the other hand, once you jump up into this 22% bracket, in my mind, that's a pretty high tax bracket for a teacher family. And so if we can defer those taxes down the road when we might be in a lower tax bracket, that might be a good way to think about optimizing your taxes. And so what this calculator does is it basically tells you if you've got any money left over after your yearly spend in this 10 and 12% marginal bracket, go ahead and invest that into your Roth investment accounts. On the other hand, once you jump up into this 22% bracket, if you've got some money left over, then go ahead and use your traditional funds. And remember, you're deferring those taxes down the road until hopefully you're in a lower tax bracket. And even if for some reason you don't end up in a lower tax bracket, using those traditional deferred accounts is still a great advantage, because it's going to allow your income today and those earnings to grow tax-free until you withdraw. And so by utilizing even the traditional accounts, even if you weren't perfect about it, over the course of 30 years that money could grow more than double than if you didn't take advantage of any of these tax advantage accounts. So anyways, that's a quick lesson on marginal tax brackets. There's certainly some better videos out there on them if you'd like to Google that. But let's get back to the calculator. I think I've got all the bugs worked out, but I will tell you that the logic with the nested if and statements got to be pretty complicated, and so if you find that you're entering a number and you're seeing anything unusual, please let me know, and definitely use this at your own risk. This is just an attempt to get you in the right ballpark. Unfortunately, when I was earlier in my career, my wife and I were not really making enough money to get into those higher tax brackets, but we were still using our traditional retirement accounts. Probably didn't make a lot of sense. We should have been using those Roth accounts, and so that's what this calculator is attempting to do. So first thing, you can choose whether you're filing single, married, jointly, or head of household. I'll just do this joint, and then you'll estimate your family's overall income, and then you'll estimate your yearly spend, and then this number down here will just change automatically depending on whether you select joint, head, or single. So you won't need to type anything in here. And so the assumptions that this calculator is using is that you want to stay in the 12% bracket right now, or as close to it as you can, and then hopefully in retirement you're going to be also in that 12% bracket or something as close as you can. However, we don't know what the future tax brackets are going to be, so unless you have a crystal ball, this is all just a guess. And that's all the purpose of this calculator is, to get people to start thinking about whether they might use traditional or Roth, and then how much they might put in each. So just as an explanation, we've got a family income of $150,000. They're spending $95,000 a year. What retirement accounts might you use? And so you can see the orange here is the traditional, and so in this case this $40,000 was up above that 12% tax bracket, and so in that case this family might go ahead, and the husband and wife might go ahead and max out, or close to max out, their 403b's or their 401ks or their 457s. Maybe their 457s if they're going to try to retire early, and that would be the traditional, where you're deferring the taxes, remember, down the road, so that hopefully you're in a lower tax bracket, or at least you can withdraw in a way that will keep you in that lower tax bracket. And then here, after their yearly spend, they have about $15,000, about $14,000 left after their yearly spend, that they're still in that 12% bracket. Let's go ahead and pay the taxes now on that. 12%, pretty good deal to pay taxes at that 12% rate. And so we'll go ahead and use our Roth IRA here. The husband and wife can max those both out, and remember, those earnings will grow tax-free forever, which is awesome. Now let's say that you're in that FIRE movement, you want to retire early, and you bring your yearly spend way down to maybe just $40,000 a year. You can see this really opens up a whole bunch of Roth space for you that you can go ahead and take advantage of, and then that way, once you make those withdrawals, all those earnings, remember, are growing tax-free. On the other hand, let's say that you're a big spender, you've got some big car payments, big mortgage, you may not have any space in that Roth zone, and then you may really limit your traditional contributions as well. But let's say that you're a higher income earning family, maybe you're earning $200,000, and then you can see by playing around with this that now you can use that $80,000 in your traditional account. But it all depends on what your tax strategy is. Everybody's tax strategy is going to be a little bit different. This would happen to work pretty well for my family at that 12% bracket or so. Some other families with a high earning spouse, this just might not even work out for them. So, but it's something just to think about. And again, if I change this now to single, and we do more of a single income, we can start to see what those numbers then might look like for a single earner. So for a single earner with $75,000 and a yearly spend of $50,000, you can see that they've got about $4,700 left over for their Roth, and then they might go ahead and try to defer this $20,000 down the road by using those traditional accounts. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Certainly let me know if you find any bugs, and really this is just something to get you to think about how you might use these different investment tools. Like I said, when I was younger, I should have been using much more of this Roth space. I just didn't know this information about the marginal tax brackets, and so this is really just for the benefit of those that are in the same boat that I was in, and they just didn't know when to maybe take advantage of each of those accounts. So hopefully this helps. Give me some feedback in the comments, especially if you find any mistakes. Thanks for watching.